Hello and welcome to the Scatterville channel, and today, this is my $400 gaming PC. So I can honestly say with this gaming PC that I am, from the bottom of my heart, I honestly think that this gaming PC, if I would buy it, I totally would. Even for being at a totally cheap price of $400, I will admit that this gaming PC actually, I think, meets up to my standards for pretty much running any game at 1080p at ultra settings, pretty much. This gaming PC, I can honestly say, this will pretty much run any game at 1080p, well, as long as it's not like Crysis 3 or something like that, but pretty much it'll run any game at 1080p, and I honestly think that this is a very fast gaming PC for $400 thanks to the new components that have been released on the market, and also from the dropped prices of some graphics cards, processors, or anything like that. So anyways, to get into the build for the processor, I've chosen the Intel Pentium G3258 Haswell dual-core processor. So right now for $75, this is an absolutely insane processor. This is a dual-core overclocked Pentium, and not to mention that even though it is a dual-core, the overclockability of this processor just totally makes up for it, and even on the stock cooler that comes in the box with this Pentium, you can easily overclock this processor up to 4.6 GHz, which is really good, especially for a stock cooler. Anyways, this is using the Haswell architecture, which is quite nice, and for $75 you're getting a overclocked Pentium, which is absolutely crazy, and just overall for $75 this is going to be a great processor for gaming. So the motherboard that I chose for this build was an MSI H81M E33 LGA 1150 motherboard. So this is a $45 motherboard, and it's actually quite nice. For $45 you're getting a very solid motherboard by MSI, having the H81 North Bridge, and having it in a micro ATX form factor, so it's actually a little bit smaller. And yes, this is quite cheap, but it will do the job, and you cannot overclock the G3258 on this motherboard. So anyways, for $45 you're getting a very good motherboard, a very solid one to overclock that Pentium on, and this would be a great motherboard for this $400 gaming PC. So for the RAM, I chose the Crucial Ballistics Sport 8GB DDR3 1600MHz RAM set. So this is two 4GB modules adding up to 8GB of total DDR3 storage, which is great right now for gaming. 8GB is the standard, so this would be good. Also, this is at a cheap price of $75, which is quite nice. This is running at a speed of 1600MHz and a cast latency of 9. And for being at a very cheap price and being a Crucial Ballistics Sport RAM, because I know that Crucial Ballistics Sport RAMs are actually quite well reviewed online because they are very reliable, very solid, and they are very cheap and very good for their price. So I know that this will be a good RAM set for this $400 gaming PC, and this will just be very good. Now for the graphics card, I've chosen the MSI Gaming N750 Ti. So this is a NVIDIA 750 Ti in a $400 gaming PC, so that is really good for the price. A 750 Ti is probably the one NVIDIA graphics card out right now on the market that is good for its price, aside from the rest of the 700 series. But right now, a 750 Ti is still considered very fast, especially for its price point. Even since it has 2GB of GDDR5 RAM, it operates at a PCI Express speed of 3.0, which is good because our Haswell chip will utilize that. This has plenty of CUDA cores, and not to mention this is using the new Maxwell architecture, unlike all the other 700 series graphics cards. And just for $120, this is a great graphics card that you can get plenty of performance out of in today's games, and this graphics card is known for running a lot of today's games at 1080p ultra settings. Now for the hard drive, it is in the Seagate Barracuda 1TB hard drive. So this is a bit cheaper than the Western Digital Blue hard drive, but I wanted to keep the price of this gaming PC quite a bit low, so I had to go with this hard drive. But still, it does not differentiate from the fact that this is a good hard drive for its price point. This has 1TB of storage at an interface of SATA 3, 6GB transfer speeds. This is at a speed of 1700 RPM at a cache of 32 MB. And just still, this is a good hard drive for its $53 price point. Now for the power supply, I've chosen the Corsair CX430 430 watt power supply. So for an amazing price of $20, think what you can get for $20, alright? So for $20, you're getting an 80 plus bronze certified power supply by Corsair, and Corsair can make some absolutely outstanding power supplies because they are very well experienced in it, and they just, really know how to make a power supply. For having 886 reviews on Newegg.com, totaling a 4 review score, which is amazing, you are getting a 430 watt 80 plus bronze power supply by Corsair, and this is just going to be a good power supply for this gaming PC, and it will support the extra wattage for overclocking your Pentium G3258. So this would be a good power supply for this gaming PC. Now lastly, for the case, I've chosen the Rosewell Challenger Black Gaming ATX Mid-Tower Computer Case. So this is a $35 ATX Mid-Tower Computer Case, which is quite nice for its price point. And guess what? For having a 5 egg review score, it has over 2,415 reviews. So this case is absolutely outstanding. I don't think that right now there are any flaws for this case as of right now. It is so good right now for $35. It has pretty much all the things you would need in a cheap budget gaming PC case, and even though for still being a $35 case, it has the good features and build quality of up to a $70 case or $75 case or anything like that. So it is quite good. So anyways, to go over some of these specs, this has plenty of fan ports for very good airflow. And this is yet a ATX mid-tower, so this will actually hold our motherboard and actually will give you enough room to also hold that graphics card. And also, this has plenty of hard drive bays if you're into that sort of stuff. And this has plenty of I/O ports. And you know, for being a Rosewell case and being this good for this sort of price, this would be a great case for this $400 gaming PC.